How many times have we been told, or maybe we've even said to ourselves, no one will know, or it's not going to hurt anyone? The truth is that's a lie. The truth is it's one of the enemy's favorite lies. Maybe it's one of our favorite lies. It's the false appeal of forbidden fruit being better. Now what I want to do is introduce you to Lady Folly. In verse 13, it says, the woman named Folly is brash. She's ignorant. She doesn't know it. She sits in her doorway on the heights overlooking the city, and she calls out to men going by who are minding their own business. Verse 16 says, come in with me. She urges the simple. To those who lack good judgment, she says, stolen water is refreshing. Food eaten in secret tastes best. But little do they know that the dead are there. Her guests are in the depths of the grave. So there's a lot of different descriptions of her according to the translation of the Bible that you're using. It's because the words that describe her could mean several things. So let's talk about this, okay? I'm using the NLT, New Living Translation, and here it says the first word that describes her is brash. Others say loud, unruly, clamorous, boisterous. So you know she's here. You know where she's at because she's so loud she stands out. The second word that the NLT describes her as is ignorant. So they're a little different here. She's unruly. She's simple. In another translation, I think the ESV says she's seductive. So there's this idea of moral ignorance. She doesn't care what's right or wrong. She's just doing what she wants. She doesn't know. She doesn't care. She's just offering all these things up. And then last, the NLT says she doesn't know, and other translations are something similar. She doesn't know anything. Let me just tell you, loud doesn't mean that it's worth listening to. She lacks modesty and discretion. Notice that she also sits at the highest part of the city. She imitates wisdom here. She also invites people in, again, imitating wisdom. She's calling out to those who pass by. It's an interesting phrase there. It says she's calling out to those who are passing by, and they're minding their own business. She shouts at them. She's not sitting quietly, just looking as you pass by. No, she's shouting out, saying, hey, come into my house. She distracts them from their path. They aren't necessarily looking for trouble. They're just going throughout their day, but maybe they aren't ready for what's about to happen. Come in with me, she urges the simple. To those who lack good judgment, she says, stolen water is refreshing. Food eaten in secret tastes the best. It's interesting that both invitations are to those who lack good judgment. Apparently, some of the simple, those who have passed by, who hear her call and have turned away from their path to follow after her, there have been those. In that moment, it may sound enticing. She offers pleasure at no cost. How many times have we been told, or maybe we've even said to ourselves, no one will know, or it's not going to hurt anyone? The truth is that's a lie. The truth is it's one of the enemy's favorite lies. Maybe it's one of our favorite lies. It's the false appeal of forbidden fruit being better. I think of that friend that you had when you were a teenager that would always get you in trouble. They always had an idea. They always had a way of pulling you away, or, hey, let's go do this. And maybe you just followed along. Then all of a sudden you're in over your head in a bad situation. You can't get out. You trusted them, and then they got you in trouble. Stolen water is the opposite of wisdom's mixed wine. The secret food is the opposite of the food that was prepared by wisdom. Verse 18 says, but little do they know that the dead are there. So imagine you're just walking down the road doing life, and there's calling out temptation. And there's a lie with this temptation. Hey, nobody's going to know. This is going to bring you satisfaction or pleasure or make you, it's going to be something good. And so then you step aside. And in my mind's eye, and maybe through experience, personally and for all of us, we know what it's like when you walk through that doorway after making a bad decision and you find out this wasn't good. Little do they know that the dead are there. These are others who have made the same mistake. Her guests are in the depths of the grave. So they entered into the house expecting a banquet, maybe expecting pleasure, maybe expecting blessing. What's interesting about this is they entered into the house thinking that they would receive something that's only good and offered by God or by wisdom, and they find death. Death is waiting where pleasure was promised. Like it always does, sin took more than you wanted to offer. Death and the grave, they follow folly. Life and understanding follow wisdom. One holds out blessing that you can see and then you can live in. The other conceals and baits you to death and destruction. Sin from folly always promises what it can't deliver, life. Instead, it gives what it refuses to mention, death. So there are the two women who are calling out to you and I. Both extend invitations from the same world that you and I walk through every day, going to whatever's next in life. Both promise something that we would like to have. Only one is true and one is false. One leads to life and the other leads to death. And here's the amazing thing about this passage and what I love about it. It doesn't just leave you with some weird, who am I going to choose question. Rather this, listen to this quote from the preacher's commentary. The choice is not good conduct versus bad, though that choice is life-shaking. It is at bottom the choice between true worship and false, between Yahweh, whose sovereignty and order make wisdom what she is, and the fatal attractions of immorality and idolatry, for whom folly is the pitch woman.